If they think £25,000 would get me to court, they're in for another thing. I've got depression. I've got anxiety. I will drag this all through the land and make sure they spend £100,000 before I even get in a courthouse. Because I draw it out. I'll make you write 1,000 letters from your solicitors to my solicitor. At $1,000 a go.
Lovely. Well, hi everyone, and how great that we are here under these circumstances. It is so, oh wow, after 6 years, this is what we've been waiting for. I mean, it's not quite the end yet, but we're just about got there. So I'm welcoming Shirley again. Hi, Shirley. Oh, she's...
It's the unmute button. You know, that's my thing.
Thank you so much for joining me. You know how much I depend on you for me little thingies.
Yeah.
And wow, so great to see you here too, especially after that video that you did.
Oh, bless. Thank you so much.
That was a wonderful video. I don't know if
me about 2 months to put together because it's.
Oh, I know that would have taken a long time.
But I enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, and I want to thank. Oh, I've got it on the wrong things here. No, I haven't. I want to thank everybody for being here because this is a good day. And we're here because Frankie won.
Yes.
He won his judgment. And we are so happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're just going to get to it. But before we do, now you might have to take over from me on this bit. Before we do, I just want to make a couple of little dedications. And I think we all know we want to give a dedication to Mike. He would have loved today.
Oh, God, yes. Oh, bless him.
And Abby.
Yep.
And Leslie White, who actually is part of the reason I'm here. She came to me along with a few others in January of 2019, and they asked me if I could do something. And this was my answer. I found it today. I promised I would do my best. I promised them that I would do my best. And I lived up to my promise.
Mm-hmm.
But also, let's not forget Rosemary passed away a couple of weeks or so ago. So sad to lose all these members. But anyway, they're with us. They're probably up there sorting us out. They're probably doing their bit. So anyway, that video that you did was so great.
Can I say something else really quick? I just want to remember Shauna.
Oh, and I was going to add her today. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
I really did remember her. And I was outside and I thought I must remember to add her. And I didn't. But yeah, Shauna, with the
she would be over the moon right now.
Yeah. So many people, you know, I think we're all overwhelmed, but I think ultimately Frankie and family must feel absolutely, it must have been such a relief off their shoulders, especially when after listening to that beginning clip. I mean, that is just awful. Anxiety and depression is going to make it string out. And he did. That's what he did. We know because we've read what the judge had to say, and it's just awful that happened.
It backfired on him.
It did.
It did
because, well, yes and no. I mean, ultimately he made it lengthy.
Yeah.
And that would have added to the costs. But I think what they did, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that they dismissed the costs on both sides. So, but it could have been that he would have had to have paid a heck of a lot of costs in that because he made it go so long, but I mean, there's just so much. We've had so much of this over the 6 years. We've all done everything we could, and it's a great feeling to have accomplished and got to this point.
Yeah, I felt the same, and it's just elation, the fact that it's been so long and it's finally come to that point where we've all been waiting for so long.
Yeah,
it's a good day.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, and I'm sure that I don't know that there's anybody here listening that doesn't know, Cohen Davis, Cohen, yeah, that's right. He issued on his website, issued a fact that there was a judgment against Mr. Vinnicombe, and you can go to the website. I think we've probably got links somewhere. Is Carrie around, or somebody with a link that takes you to the website? I've put a lot of it into the description under here, and you can see. And as we would have predicted, some of the things that were said in that judgment shows that AD took his time and kept sending a defense that they couldn't accept, and they'd ask him to send it again. Mm-hmm. And I think one defense, one of the issues in the defense is that he'd sent emojis and things. People who
was that the video that I sent?
Yes, I think I saw it on your video.
The poo emojis. He really thought he was going to be able to use that. It blows my mind.
Well, I think 3 defenses he had to put in, and I don't think from the comments they used about him, he didn't do a very good job. I think they saw right through him. I'm sorry. But he had the money back when it started, and he didn't use it. I mean, let's not think that, oh, poor Alan, because he doesn't have any money now. Well, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't have that much because he was terminated in September of last year, or was it last year or the year before?
I think 23. Was it September 23? I can't remember.
Was it really that long ago?
I can't remember. I didn't put it in the video, but I've forgotten already.
But once he was terminated, he wouldn't be getting money very much, but he still, most of the money came from Patreon.
What about the fund, please, and the funds, the 2 funds?
Oh yeah, I think. Hang on, I've got. I do have something here. The Shirley put this together in April the 18th, 2023. The Crowd Justice, the Fundly, the GoFundMe, his poker winnings, which this is all fact, 35,503. Now that doesn't include the Patreon, and his was this no something. I did have it. Yeah. So you can see that during 2020 and into 2021, I think he was getting 10,000 approximately a month just from Patreon. He had 1,000 Patreons plus 1,000. And in actual fact, he confirmed to us that he was making approximately 1,400, which I will. 1,400. He was complaining because he had to pay 1,400 in tax. Can you believe that? God,
honestly.
My deductions from Patreon, I just got paid, was $1,400 last month. For those of you dollars is too much. My deductions from Patreon, I just got paid, was $1,400 last month.
You're the richest man on YouTube.
I am. I've got 2,000 Patreons. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Ethan.
Good on.
Are you right there, Lizzie?
Yes, I was having a bit of technical difficulties because my cord came out.
Oh, doesn't sound good.
So, okay, let me get back to that. I'm sorry about that. I was wondering if you were both still here, if I'd lost you.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm having a chat with Joe the cat. I actually didn't realise that she was in the chat before, and I didn't think it was the real one, but it is.
So let me just take off this thingy here. So yeah, so he actually in that, and please, I'm sorry about the fact that I lost my cord there and it went black. He confirmed by telling everybody he paid $1,400 in tax 1 month at 10%. That confirms that he was getting, just in Patreon, not all the rest of what we've seen or know about, he was getting approximately $14,000 a month at that time. So when he said he was he had 2,000 Patreons, he was probably getting close to 20,000. The mind just boggles. And everybody was saying to me, no, you're wrong, you've got it wrong. No. I didn't. I'm really comfortable. I mean, I went into deep detail. But anyway, Joe, how are you, Joe? I can't see any chat or anything. So, but did you have anything that you wanted to tell us? I'm trying to find the comments.
Do you want me to drop the link, Lizzie?
Yeah, if you would.
Okay.
I would love to speak to you, Joe, if you want to pop up.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'd like to.
Yeah, there's a lot of history went on there and a lot of misunderstandings. I mean, I know for me, well, I know that AD hates me because...
AD hates me as well, don't worry, I'm on the list.
I discovered that he was making so much money. And like I was just saying, I mean, isn't that shocking to think he was making close to $25,000 a month for a year?
Yeah.
Oh, and he's come along and... Hang on, this is...
Oh, good, Joe. Come up and have a chat. It'd be nice to speak to you.
Is she coming up?
Yeah, she said that she said okay in the chat.
Oh, lovely. So I don't know which one. Hang on, there's
As most of you are aware, I have no money, despite what you're told. Or Lizzie, who seems to know what I earn, she's miles out. She looks at a social blade and goes, "You must be earning that." BS. I'm not even monetizing this channel. My earnings has gone right down since I stopped doing the W case. Right down. He earns so much on Patreon. No, I don't. Most of my members are $1. She's got those estimates wrong by 50%. She's advised the other side how much I'm earning, and they are being led by a donkey. It's a big difference between shut down and destroyed financially, right? I don't think they can destroy me financially. I can't film from the street, can I? For some DOS house where I've got no money. I'm 68.
yeah, that was 2 years ago.
He just call you a donkey?
Yes, he's called me a lot more. He's called me a lot more. In fact, hang on. I mean, you're all part of a nest of.
I've got a story to tell tonight. Imagine a whole, what we call them, a nest of Marthas, right? I have a nest of Marthas slithering around a Facebook page. Slithering, right? With their real names. But then when they come on the internet, when they come onto YouTube, oh yeah, they have other names. Well, my solicitor's been monitoring Scott's chat, and we picked them up and we placed them back in Lizzie's nest of vipers, the Marthas, right? We've got Guernsey Girl, Mod Station, Sandy Blue.
Oh, he goes on. But there's one that you have to see. This one just kills me. And it's not just him that makes me laugh. Just watch this one. Oh my goodness. Is Joe the Cat still popping up? Shirley?
She hasn't said anything since then, so I don't know.
Oh, but you sent the link to her.
I put the link in the chat, yeah.
Great. I'd love to chat with her. I, don't have anything against her. Hang on. I personally don't.
Yeah, Carrie, shout out to Guernsey Girl and Sandy Blue. You're famous because, the world famous Armchair Detective named you. You're awesome.
Yeah, but you just watch this. This one just killed me when I watched me laugh too.
Age is catching up with me. I tried to explain that, yeah, I probably would give up and retire, but I can't afford to. I'll be honest with you, I can't afford to. I'd rather have somewhere to live than not do YouTube. It's slightly more important.
Such a bullshitter. Excuse my language.
They're addicted to hurting to me. I think a lot of it's jealousy. A lot of them started out as supporters, don't you? No,
not me.
Not me. No.
Not me.
I'm saying these trolls, most trolls start off as a supporter. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, in his dreams.
Don't believe me? Ask Kaka or Silly Nana or anything. They'll tell you.
Silly. Yeah, we would believe anything that Silly Nana would ever say. Yep.
Where is Silly Nana anyway? She disappeared.
But what I'm perplexed about, they have all these sexual fantasies that they portray onto me, don't they?
Oh, God. Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
I think
Jesus. See, that was my reaction then. It's my reaction now.
Right.
Jesus.
Oh, I just curled up when I saw that one this morning. I thought I must remember to put that one on.
It's funny because I forgot all about that clip, and my reaction was exactly the same.
And I'd forgotten about it too. I just came across it accidentally.
Oh, so gross.
Oh,
I think it's safe to say nobody's having those thoughts. That's you. Oh, gross.
no.
Oh, gross.
But so now, well, hopefully, momentarily, Joe the cat said should pop up. But I think when you look at what your video did, that you did, Val, it was an hour long, and I put it on my channel too, but I made it very, very obvious that it was your video.
Oh, it doesn't matter if you did it or not, I don't mind.
Yeah, that's important to me. But it's even shocking to me to see how he had directed so much against the family.
Yeah.
I really, even me. Did you find the same, Shirley, or have you not had a chance to watch it? Because I know you've been...
Yeah, I have not had a chance to watch it.
It's an absolutely fantastic video, and it's the absolute best. Well, hi, Joe. You made it to join us.
Hi, Joe.
Thank you. Are you there? Are you okay? She's in silence. You having trouble with something, Joe?
Yeah, no, I'll just say that video took so long to do, but because it's such a transient audience, nobody saw his abuse all at once.
Yeah.
It was stretched over such a long period of time, and just watching it all in 1 hour, it's disgusting.
I think
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Hi, Joe. Hi, Joe. So how are you? We haven't seen you in a long time.
Long time. I mean, you can hear me, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nope. No, as long as you can hear me, I'm good.
No, we can hear you.
Yeah.
So how are your feelings towards the latest news?
I was just going on to YouTube to see what I watched yesterday. I think I have to shut off one channel. I'm hearing double.
Yeah, I
Have you
can't
got
hear double.
devices?
You must. Can anybody else hear double?
Okay,
I
I have
can't.
to, it's been so long, I have to unmute myself. I forget how to originate myself. Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay, that's
Yeah.
okay. Great to have you.
Oh, dear.
Because we never got to chat, did we?
No, we never got to chat. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you well. Are you doing okay? Can you hear yourself?
Okay. So when I go here, you can hear me.
Yeah. Yeah, you're doing okay. As long as you talk.
Sorry. Oh, bless her.
But I mean, I know for somebody, like yourself or any of the other mods, it's or admins, it's difficult to join a panel
Yeah.
from the other side, whatever. And I did have Sheila on one day, and I don't think she had a little say. I don't think I made her feel uncomfortable. So hopefully you don't feel uncomfortable, do you, Joe?
I think I might have made her feel uncomfortable, but I'm okay with that.
Oh,
Sorry about that, Lizzie. I know it was your live, but I couldn't take any more of her crap. Sorry. I will not do that to Joe the cat today.
yeah.
Okay,
That's if we get to connect with Joe and she's
Right?
talking.
But she's struggling with a delay.
Is she?
Okay. Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, can hear
Yeah.
you. It's okay. We can be patient. Can't hear you now because you're on mute.
Yeah, you've muted. Oh, yeah.
So anyway, while she's trying to sort out, the one thing that grabbed me on your video out of the whole hour, I mean, everything
Okay.
did, to be honest, But the one thing that it pointed out to me, which I kind of knew, but never really saw it as forcefully as you were able to put it out there, is how often he claimed things, claimed the truth. I've got the receipts, got this, I've forgotten for that. And never did he ever come up with it. Never. He'd claim stuff. I've got the letters, and never could he come up with them.
Never. And that's one thing we don't realize. And this is why I stopped. How I said, people listen to what he's saying and what he's not saying. He's always saying, I've got the proof, but I'll make another video. And people forget that there's never another video. I'll show you tomorrow. It's never. That's how he's always done it.
Yeah.
But people think proof, saying proof is proof. No, saying you've got proof is not proof. It's ridiculous how he managed to pull the wool over everyone's eyes, that they all thought it was real just because he said it was.
Yes. And this is actually, and the one thing, I'm just going to play this, which is something which I believe a lot of people are taken in. It doesn't make you a terrible person if you believe somebody blindly.
Yeah.
But it does come under the distinction of confirmation bias. And that's why none of us are ever going to get through to anybody who absolutely believes him. This is my...
Let me tell you the second half of confirmation bias. When you have someone that suffers from confirmation bias and you bring them evidence to the contrary, it actually deepens their bias.
It's okay.
It deepens their bias. It doesn't cause them to move. Nope. It causes them to hunker down and say, okay, I'm under attack here, so I'm going to really hang on to my beliefs even more tightly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's so true.
Right.
So, and also, when you think...
Can you hear me now, Lizzie?
Oh, yes, I can. Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Okay.
No.
Go ahead.
No,
yes,
no.
I think I'm on a little bit of a delay. So my chat is delayed from my speaking, but I think we'll go ahead with that.
Well, you're
Anyway.
speaking. You're doing real time with me or us. So, and I just wanted to ask you if you know, how your feelings are towards what's happened in the court case now. If you want to tell us, I mean, if you'd rather not talk about it, but
DC Primetime asked me if I thought this would ever happen. Yeah, about it.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, DC Primetime asked if I had thought this would happen.
Yeah.
First, I never thought it would. I didn't think Frankie's case would go the distance. And the fact that it did, that surprises me. And I'm very happy about that. And what doesn't surprise me is AD's response or lack of response 4 times in a row. And of course, they threw it out. I mean, just a bunch of nonsense. And I have not been like following this for like years now, like since the pandemic.
Yeah.
And history, and they read the whole, the whole court filing, which was a riot on itself. Let me see what it was. Oh my God. I'm sure you guys have all read it, right? Is that right?
Yeah, that page that was on Cohen's webpage. The judgment.
I'm just looking for it. Was battery something guy.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can read the whole. I've put the link in the description. You can read the whole judgment there. And it is quite shocking, isn't it?
And he goes through the whole thing, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
He just tried to muddy the water and just waste time, and he had no evidence at all that he could use to, turn it against Frankie. No evidence at all. So all the lies, all these 5 years he's been telling people, I've got evidence on him. He thinks I can sue him. I've got evidence on him. I've got thousands of evidence. Complete lie. Absolute lie. To anyone listening to this who's a sub, he's lied to you all these
Well,
years.
the thing is, he didn't even try to defend himself. He didn't even try.
No, he didn't. He knew he'd lost. I think that's what it was. He gave up.
Well, he chose to spend his money instead of putting it into a lawyer, because he could have done that. He had enough. He could have, if he was serious.
Quite right.
He should have been
He could have fought.
Yeah, he should have. He had a. Well, I just put up what he got on the GoFundMe. And where did that go?
So, yeah, I forget, I was kind of out of the picture once the GoFundMe stuff. So how much money did he end up raising for himself?
I put it on the screen there. The Shirley Murray has kindly, I picked it up. She did the totals there. Crowd Justice, he got 215, but that goes directly to the lawyers, right?
215,000?
No, $215.
215 pounds. Wow, that's pathetic. Okay.
Yeah, well, but that's because it goes straight to the lawyers. It wasn't, going to be hijacked anywhere. The Fundly, of course, and the GoFundMe. Well, the Fundly was 5,245. Now, it was established that once it's there, he could take it out at any time in his own bank account. So,
of course.
Yeah, and that's what happened to it. I mean, we did try, and he said about, I've got all the videos where he says, I'll show you the proof. No, I'll show, I'll show you the receipts. No, he didn't. And that 5,200 has gone everywhere. The place everywhere else went. Now he had the GoFundMe. And these figures with his poker winnings of 35,000 were alongside the fact that for a year he was earning close to 20,000, if not more, every month. And he's proven it just now. Did you see that clip, Joe? Where he
I think I was trying to get in. I believe I missed the clip. How long is it?
Okay, no, it's just a short one. I'm going to play it again because it really shows you that. I'll play it again if I can find it. I don't know why I can't find it. I just put.
Okay,
oh, here,
okay,
no,
Lucy,
I've got it. I've got it.
My deductions from Patreon, I just got paid, was $1,400 last month.
So, if it's 1,400 and he pays approximately 10% in tax of 1,400 is 14,000 in 1 month. Is that just awful or what? March
For those dollars is too much. My deductions from Patreon, I just got paid, was $1,400 last month.
And there we go. So anybody who didn't believe me that he was making more than 10,000 a month, he's just proved it. And that's what I came up with for a year. He was over 1,000, 10,000 every month.
He's never going to have admitted it. So we've got to, everything he says is a lie. So,
well, yeah, the thing that was sad was I really worked hard. I mean, I went into real detail of how many each month left and joined a new price. And I went into every bit of detail like that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was so confident.
He would never admit it. He's got to fight you on it.
Well, of course, because he's embarrassed because people were saying to me, no, he's only making about 3,000 a month.
But who had the proof? You had the proof. Did he have
I
the
had,
proof?
yeah. And it's proof that you have to work out to be able to get the proof.
Yeah.
You have to see that there's 10,000, there's 1,000 Patreons.
He should have come back with the proof. If he wanted to prove you wrong, he should have come back with the proof of what it is. He should have come back with some paperwork, some bits and pieces that he could have said, look, this, but no. See?
Yeah. He had, for a year, he had over 1,000. It doesn't give you the amount above. He's telling us there. Well, he told us once he had 2,000.
And
they
this
were
is not including what he made, like, you know, when I met him initially during COVID, like, you know, all the chances he had to save money, for example.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he was making way more than what you have up in front of us now.
Wow.
When you say that, he was making more than 10, 15,000.
Are these, I'm sorry, what are your date parameters?
The Patreon, I've got the whole list of Patreon, and I did it where,
like, you're just going back a year, right? Or you're going back
this
much
was
longer?
1 year, and I can show you the dates here. It's actually on that. I think I've just.
That's okay. I'm not questioning you. I just wanted to know the time frame, because I can only speak of what he was making, you know, while I was there.
And what years were you there?
Yes, me.
Yeah. I mean, were you there between September 20 and 21?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that's
So
I've
those
just
are
put
the
on
amounts you're pulling from then. So,
well, that's the year
of
that
what year?
we didn't know how many Patreons he had. Patrons,
right?
He had more than 1,000.
Yes,
and
quite
during
right. More
that,
than 1,000. Yes.
on the March 2021, where I've got him at approximately 10,000 a month, he's actually admitted to us he had 14,000 that month, and that's just on Patreon. That wasn't without Super Chat or any of the membership or any other PayPal. And when he was doing the Patreon at night, and then getting everybody to. Why was he? I can't remember now. He'd write it on a board when everybody gave him some money. He made about.
Yes, he did do that for a while, and that was when I was there. Yeah, exactly. I remember that he did that for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was getting about 3,000 a night in some cases, I think. No, 3,000 a month or a week.
In those days, his conversion was good for sure, and you would
and ultimately. Ultimately, it doesn't really, all these figures I'm showing people because they didn't believe me, but I've just proven that my figures were as correct as they could probably be. But it's irrelevant now because he's lost. And we have a family who has gone through some absolutely dreadful things. And I'm guessing you haven't seen the video either, right, Joe? Shirley hasn't seen it, but Val did a video.
You were going to play it for us.
Well, it's for an hour. I can play it a little bit.
Oh, it's an hour video. Okay,
it is absolutely
I did
fantastic.
watch a long video from the battery guy the other day, and I don't know.
That was that was
what
just
kind of video was this, or is it on your channel? I'll go back and watch it.
Yeah, I'm going to try. Okay. I've got it there. I'm going to try and play just a little bit so everybody gets an idea of how good it is. Is that okay with you?
Ducks.
Yeah,
and Shirley, I've got to try and do this again now. Remember how I don't get it right? Okay.
It's okay, Lizzie. Relax. It's okay.
Yeah. It's click on present. Then okay, can you talk amongst yourself while I try and do this?
Yes. Joe, can I ask you a question? When did you come to realize that you were did you get out and then realize, or realize and then get out?
Is this a question for Joe the cat? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, Joe. Yeah. Did you leave?
Yes, naturally.
You got an idea of what was going on, or did you leave and then you saw the truth? Does that make sense?
Well, the beginning of the end for me, I would say it started when there was that porn search.
Right. Yeah.
And what was it? at the time she was a mod or at least a contributor, Beth. Remember Beth?
Don't remember
And
that.
I just felt so bad for her because while
I
she
do.
was speaking, his, search came up while her voice was speaking. And so,
Yeah.
that became a crisis, and like a lot of people left him, and I was like, oh gosh, what? Anyway,
Yeah.
I would say it all started then. And actually, when I kind of joined in, I had no idea of his past history, and it only came on like through the trolls, like for example his escort business,
Yeah. Girls.
and
Yeah.
I saw like one picture of the escort business and I thought it was fake for sure, because I was like, who would write a Facebook ad for an escort business and use their profile picture with their son?
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be fake. And then it took some time before, what AD calls a troll had put up all of those ads. It was like, I don't know, there were like, what do you go, 3 by 5? There must have been at least 15 different ads that he had placed through Facebook for escorts. And then I was like, okay, this isn't just one freaky thing.
Yeah.
And there were other things, I suppose. One time I was on the phone with him, and this was around November, 2020 or 2020. Yeah, I think 2020. And he was making a purchase while we were on the phone, and it was only a purchase for about, I don't know, 50 pounds or something. And he had to keep skipping from credit card to credit card. And so I thought, that's strange. Like, you don't have the financial consistency to approve $50 or pounds, whatever, so I was like, okay, and yes, stuff like that did appear to me.
Yeah, because you just suddenly disappeared. And I don't even think that he even said anything about you disappearing. You just suddenly sort of stopped being there. And I thought, oh.
No, well, he wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, I ended up knowing a lot of what was going down, right? So,
I'd like to have a little quiet chat with you sometime, if you don't mind, Joe. It'd be lovely to catch up. If you fancied it. How do you fancy a little one-to-one chat with me, perhaps? Yeah, I think maybe that'd be like, if you wanted to. I'm putting that forth. If you wanted to, we can catch up afterwards. But I'd like to know more. I suppose more people would like to know more as well.
I think we all want to
tell.
We all want to know more.
Yes, yeah. I don't. The gentleman that was not Barry, I've never even seen his channel before. That's how out of it I was, even when I was involved. I watched some of the troll, so to speak, channels, but what was his name yesterday? Oh gosh, let me go to it. The one who put up the he smokes pot all the while.
Battery exhausted, yeah.
Battery, not Barry.
Yeah.
Battery. Okay. Yes, exactly. For some reason, I Battery came up yesterday, and I saw this, and I listened to the whole thing, and I was like, wow, he's in trouble now. But what didn't surprise me is how he, he didn't respond, with any professional courtesy, like getting a lawyer. And I'm not surprised, because one time he said to me that he has so much like a sort of anxiety that if he gets something in the mail that looks official, like it's from the government or it's whatever, it's he doesn't open it and he throws it out. And I thought, wow, that kind of says a lot about a person.
Well, yeah. I think I think we
he's one that would just rather not face things,
Yeah, and that judgment kind of tells you. I mean, what were those words that were used? That defective and
mishmash,
ignorance or something. He just didn't.
It was defective and in something. Yeah. No, I'm forgetting.
Yeah, it's a word that nobody can get. Yeah, but this is how he is. And I
Well,
mean,
there was
did
a
you
lot
read-
read yesterday.
Pardon? I'm sorry, what did you say, but Joe?
I said a lot was
Oh, read, yeah.
sorry about
Yeah, the
that. A
whole,
lot was read yesterday on battery.
yeah, and if
I
you
put
go
a list.
if you go to the description on this vid, I've got the link that goes to that judgment, and you can read it for yourself. But it really shows that he is there's words. He's just not responsible. He's irresponsible.
Inadequate. I've written a few sentences down from that. It was inadequate.
I think you're back, Lizzie.
Yeah.
They gave.
And
sorry.
DC, does anybody follow him? Has he posted since the judgment? Well, all I can say is he does a lot on TikTok. I don't get TikTok, so I've taken time off. I mean, for the last couple of months or so, I haven't really followed, but I've checked on Patreon, and I think, and I do believe, because he said one sentence that he was not allowed to talk about the case. And that's all he said. So I suspect that, and this has been my hope from the beginning, that I saw it in the Maddie case with Tony, is that everybody was talking about money. It's all about money. It's all about money. I've never believed that. I don't care whether it's about money. But what I do care about is that when the hearing comes, and we've got this to come, when the hearing comes for what was the word? There's a word, begins with R. But anyway, it's basically to look at the things he's going to be accountable for. It might be costs or what he's got to pay, but there are things that he's not going to be able to do. And I apologize if I'm not coming up with the right words, but after a couple of little strokes a few years ago, this is why sometimes I go around the bend trying to get to the word. But there's a few things he's not going to be able to do. And I suspect they are going to stop him, if they haven't already stopped him from talking about the case. And talking about the case and talking about the family. Now, that doesn't sound like much, but think about it. As of this moment, we've got a live going. He's probably sitting there watching it, or will watch it, and he can't say a word. He cannot. He's probably, I mean, maybe not right now, but I would imagine when the hearing comes through and he's given his things he's got to stick with, that he's probably going to be prevented to mentioning the case or the family's name or the family. And what happened back in the Maddie case, Tony Bennett was given 6 demands. And they asked him, and one of them was he doesn't talk about the dogs. He was the only person in the world that could not talk about the cadaver dogs. But what happened, and he couldn't, he acceded to them because he couldn't afford to go against Carter Ruck, who are major lawyers. So he agreed to it, but he was found on an Australian forum talking about the dogs. So, and this is what I'm saying. If this is the same as with AD, if he's told he cannot talk about the case or the family, and he's found doing that, what happened with Tony? He was taken to contempt of court. That is a criminal court. And the McCanns tried to get him put in prison because it's a criminal court. You can do that.
That's what'll happen.
And this is what I have believed from the start, that AD is hopefully going to have to deal with. He's got to be forced to not speak about the family, not speak about the case.
I don't think he'll ever be able to again after, right?
Yeah. And if he does, then he'll be in contempt of court, and that is a
What about
criminal
his book?
charge. Pardon?
Will he have to withdraw his book, perhaps?
This might be all part of what they
Because that's
decided
part
for
of
him.
talking
We
about
don't know. This is something we don't know right now.
Mm.
But the way he was saying, and has not posted anything that I have seen, he's been on about.
Everything's been thrown out.
I haven't seen anything. And he did make that one little comment, something, well, I can't talk about the case. So I suspect he knows he can't talk about
He
it.
said that? He said that on TikTok or something? Yeah.
I've got the clip. I had a clip.
Yeah. Well, we all know that's what he always says when he has nothing to say.
No, this was a specific in the middle of, for the last weeks, months. That's
Right,
all.
right. He always says that, you know, he's been saying that. He would talk about the case when he thought he was going to win, but when something didn't go his way, then all of a sudden, I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. You're like, oh, okay, what the fuck ever.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you might be right there. I understand what you're saying, but I would suspect and hope that after the last hearing, apparently the judge was really upset with him when he was at the hearing. He was really overriding the judge, and from what I understand anyway.
Wouldn't it be horrible if like a bunch of people went to TikTok and reported his channel? Because I know that TikTok is a lot stricter than YouTube ever was. I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying.
Well, TikTok did.
Is that true? I'm not even on TikTok. What does Alan talk about anymore on TikTok?
He's doing the Liam Payne case.
Yeah.
That poor family are going to have to deal with the same thing as the Rzuceks.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat.
And that's all. That's all he's talking about anymore.
At
Just
the
one
moment,
case?
mainly.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I watched the beginning and end of each one, you know, whatever, but he doesn't talk about anything else or refer to the court case or anything except that one little comment that I picked up. And I felt, you know, right, you might be right, Shirley, that, you know, he doesn't want to speak because he knows he's losing. But on the other hand, it might be because he's been told from now on, you do not talk about this case. And
okay, I agree with you, but I don't think that's the case. When's that ever stopped him?
Yeah.
When he had something he's wanted to say, you know, he would say it, or he would find different ways to say it. But okay.
Yeah, no, who knows? And what I love, I mean, obviously Frankie and the family can't speak right now until the end of the hearing. But I would suspect that there's going to be a lot said at the end when it's over, when it's fully over. And I'm not sure. I am really curious what he's telling the people around him about where he's at right now. Is he telling them exactly yes, and his family? Is he telling his family, yes, I lost, and I'm going to have to be accountable for a few things, and this is something.
He lies to his family. He's not truthful with his family. I mean, for the time I was involved with him, like his family was kind of thrown lies, I guess, you know, like, oh, they're going after me, the trolls, etc., etc. I mean, they didn't really have a full on truth.
Yeah,
what was ever going on. But also, you know, especially from his son, I had a feeling that, you know, his son was just ticked off with him, you know.
Yeah.
Really? That's good to hear, because I think a lot of people got to the point where they thought his son was actually kind of enabling him.
Yeah.
I would say not at all.
Okay. Well, good to know.
I like a little snicker there when you said that. So you know a lot more there.
Yeah, and also the daughter, not the youngest daughter, but the eldest daughter, also not thrilled with her father, you know.
Yeah.
Interesting to know.
It's sad. And this is the thing. It's a family, and he is totally knowledgeably wrecking his credibility with them, and
Well, he's
you
just
know,
embarrassing them, isn't he? I mean,
yeah,
really.
I think,
Yeah.
and I just don't like to look at. I mean, I hated it when he brought on his daughter, his youngest daughter.
Oh, I don't remember that ever happening. That must have been after me. Are you kidding? He did?
He brought her on as Pandora. And this was shortly after he'd come back from Malta, I guess, because the reason I discovered it was her is because she didn't realize and started talking about his suitcases being found or whatever. But yeah, he brought her on as Pandora. I've got Joe, I took, and this is why it's so gratifying for me to get to this point. I know the family are just ecstatic. I'm sure they are. But for me, it's so validating because I recorded every single video, whether it was 3 times a day, 4 times a day, once a day, and all the clips that I took and everything, every single video for that 5 years or whatever it was. So if you just take that as
that's a lot of effort.
Well, put it this way, I think I added up how many terabytes I've got of storage. I do have every single video. I missed on July 28th, 2020, because my daughter got married, and that was the date that he lost. He got copyright on his Patreon. And there was a couple of other days that I missed. Other than that, every single one. So I knew for this case, if anybody needed it, I had it. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. And it's validating to know that, I helped make a difference. It really is. So
no, good.
And okay, Grumpy Granny. Joe was the youngest involved. So,
right. Yeah.
So Grumpy Granny is asking you, Joe, if the youngest was involved. The youngest, I guess, daughter. Are you there? Joe. Hello? Has she disappeared? Oh, I guess she must have disappeared. But it's I'm so happy. I'm sure everybody's so happy. Did we ever think we'd get to? Well, a lot of people didn't think we would. I had faith.
There's a lot
Can you hear me?
Ideas out there.
Yeah, we can now.
You can hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you again. So Grumpy Granny wanted to know if the youngest was involved.
Okay, sorry. I don't know if I'm repeating myself, but I was thinking that, no, the youngest daughter, like when I was around at that time, she was like in, I don't know, 18 or 19, maybe even 17. And she was not involved in any way at that time. But also the eldest daughter and the son, they wouldn't be involved even if he asked them. So maybe the youngest daughter was like, the only one he could influence.
Yeah. I'm uncomfortable talking about the family.
And I wasn't around when he brought her on, so I don't remember any of that.
Except the fact that he did bring her on as Pandora. And I have the video as I've got the other one.
And for what? To defend him? What was the purpose of Pandora?
No, she was a special guest. I can't remember why. why. But there was.
I can't remember why, but I do.
So he didn't say she's my daughter. He just brought her on as a different girl.
Pandora pretended to be somebody else. Yeah. And then.
Okay. Oh, pretended to be someone else.
Yeah. And I can't remember the reason behind it, but he had so many, and I mean,
that's not surprising.
He was so questionable with so many of his guests. I mean,
wow, that's pretty seriously desperate. Yeah.
Well, none of his guests were real. They were all fake. The prison shit, what was the girl's name who was supposedly writing to him?
Yeah, I don't even know. You know, that's something that Bubbles handled. Certain things would come in, and I'm like, okay, that's for Bubbles, and I don't even know what happened with her, honestly, and I don't even know how she became fake. Like, it was that point, like, I was starting to check out. That must have been after the porn search. I mean, yeah, I was like kind of not paying attention, but I was still sort of assisting him. But you know, there was so many things to me.
Cutting out.
Yeah, you were trying to get him in shape.
Not just how he opted to be like gone from this scene, kind of thing.
Yeah, he needed to, but I was disgusted with him for bringing his daughter on, because he should not have been using his family in any way. And I, you know, I'm uncomfortable with talking about that.
Sorry about that, Lizzie. How?
Oh no, I'm just saying in general. I don't, you know, I've tried to not bring family into it because, but on the other hand, he has brought them into it himself, you know, in some ways.
Right. I mean,
do you guys know when Bubbles left?
When who?
Bubbles left?
Well, she left supposedly with a stroke. I think it was when the court case was beginning to come to a head in some way, and she, I think, was probably in charge of the money, and not in charge of it, but dealing with all the money issues from the Fundley and stuff like that, and maybe knew what was going on. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure she just eventually had enough. Like, enough is enough. She's kind of like a dog with a bone. God bless her, you know. But she just decided. I mean, good for her, because like this is going nowhere.
Yeah, Chicken Lady left.
Is Chicken Lady still with him?
Oh no, she left a long time ago.
Are any mods on
the
TikTok
only people that I've seen left is Sheila. I mean, I think Sheila, bless her, she's, you know, she really does believe in him. And
oh, Sheila, the elder woman in the UK.
Yeah, silly Nana, yeah.
Oh, bless her, Sheila. Oh,
yeah, she really does believe in him, and
she probably doesn't understand everything, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and Shirley, stop it, please.
I'm gonna use an American Southern phrase. Oh, bless her heart.
Yes,
her heart.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Sure. I heard that one.
Oh dear. But I really don't. There are, what are the other ones that are around him right now?
He keeps mentioning Riff
I don't even have TikTok.
Oh yeah, Riff Raff. Riff Raff is still hanging in. You probably remember Riff Raff because she's been going since the beginning, basically. I think he was going out to visit her at some point.
Now, did you guys get to read the legal order that came out yesterday?
Something came out yesterday. Did I miss it? Did any of us miss it?
I don't know what that is. No.
Yes, on the Battery channel, which I must have been a member of from some other time. It's very interesting to go back and read the legal files because Alan has claimed to be like dyslexic and doesn't understand like certain language. You know how usually these legal files are all legalese? It's all legalese, you know, but there's times in this legalese that they put in sayings that only he will understand, you know, like very common day sayings. It's a very interesting document to read.
Well, if you're talking about the one Battery Exhausted was reading out, there's a link to it on the description under this video.
Perfect.
There is a link. It's quite a long, well, lengthy thing. It did take him, I think it took him a couple of hours.
I know. I kept fast forwarding to get to the deal.
Yeah. But it ended up basically is that it gives a kind of an overview of what was happening, that he kept sending in defenses and they weren't sufficient, and they asked him again and he still didn't send it in, and then they told him to get a lawyer and he promised to get a lawyer and he didn't, and all this kind of stuff. But it ends up with the conclusion. I don't know whether I could, well, I don't think I put the conclusion on the thing, is that basically there's no costs. They've stopped the costs. Again, I can't remember the words. But he is going to be faced with the final hearing, which will take in any costs that he has. I'm talking about the costs of whatever. But this is the final costs that he will owe, and anything like being told not. Can somebody help me with the words here?
Remedial? Is that ringing
Well,
bells?
in the UK, costs refer to, he applied for costs, and that's not something like a lawyer here that's free. Costs,
oh yeah, he's got pro bono, and this is what's great, and this is what I love, is there was so much aggro about the fund, and I've forgotten how much we all put together, and a lot of people disagree with me, and that's okay, because I like to be pretty naive when it comes to that, and I was happy. I would have sent more. In fact, you know what? I paid. What I didn't realize when we were putting together for the fund, I got my $5 and sent my $5, but then I didn't realize it didn't come out at that time. And by the end of the month, when they were taking it out, I didn't have anything in there. I had to call the bank. That was funny. But anyway, Mike knew that I was kind of short on funds, and then there was issues with people saying, oh well, the funds shouldn't be there, so I didn't like that stuff, didn't want to get involved. But he said when it's sorted, he said I'd like to send some money to Frankie, and he said I'm going to send some on your behalf too, because he was so,
oh bless him.
Mike was so caring about this, and he'd be so happy right now. In fact, maybe he's up there helping them sort it, but it was really important to him that he was going to pay something. But that's awful when you send a donation and then it won't go through, it bounces. Or $5. That was funny.
Bounced.
I know. So and when people were saying we want the money back from Frankie, I'm saying, well, I don't know. I need my $5 back. But that's what happened. And then, of course, now we've found out that the lawyers did it all pro bono, or not all, but over and above.
Yeah.
And that is good on them, and I can see why, because I can see now we do have the fact that they have they get media attention, which is great.
Frankie was pro bono. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Frank. Yeah.
Well, it just
okay, wonderful.
In them.
That's great.
It just showed that there was a case, because if there wasn't, they would have chucked it away. They're not going to put their free time into something that's not worthy. So to me, it was the biggest proof ever that they knew that they were going to win, because you know what I mean. I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and
it's an award-winning case. In fact, it's the first time ever, you guys. It's the first time ever in the UK that a YouTuber has been successfully prosecuted. It's the first time that this has ever happened. So
that's right.
Well done.
And I'm going to milk it a little bit longer because I think he deserves it.
And I've just remembered it was in the Devon News here. And let me just see
if oh, wonderful.
Can you take
look at that. Yes.
Hang on a sec. I'm going to put it on big. I can't find the big thing. Oh, there it is.
It looks good right now.
Okay. Devon armchair detective loses legal case after shocking murders. The murders of a pregnant mum and her 2 young daughters shocked the world. A YouTuber from Devon has lost a high court libel case to the brother of the woman murdered with her 2 children in the United States. Alan Vinnicombe, this is for Devon, Exeter, Torbay, and more. Alan Vinnicombe was accused of promoting wholly unfounded conspiracy theories on the video, sharing a site about the murder of Shanann Watts by her brother, Franklin Rzucek. Mrs. Watts and her 2 young daughters, Bella, 4, and Celeste, 3, were murdered by the husband and father, Chris Watts, in Colorado in August 2018, with Mrs. Watts also pregnant with her 3rd child at the time. He was later sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Now, what I love, just speaking aside here, they brought in a really good barrister, and somebody posted the qualifications of this barrister. Anyway, they brought him in. So barristers for Mr. Rzucek told a hearing in London earlier this month that Mr. Vinnicombe, 70, had propagated conspiracy theories implicating Mr. Rzucek in a sinister and ongoing cover-up around the killings, and asked the court to rule in his favour before a trial. Mr. Vinnicombe then sued Mr. Rzucek over allegations of harassment. And on Wednesday, February the 26th, Deputy High Court Judge Susie Allegra ruled in the Mr. Rzucek's favour and threw out Mr. Vinnicombe's claim, finding he had not complied with court rules. In her judgment, she described Mr. Vinnicombe's defence as a mismatch of legal wording and vague assertions of unspecified evidence or alternative facts, and that he had no real grounds for bringing the counterclaim. The Watts murders became the focus of true crime blogs and online video channels and captured media attention across the United States. After murdering his daughters, Watts left their bodies submerged in an oil tank with his wife's body found buried nearby in a shallow grave. Mr. Rzucek, who lives in North Carolina, took legal action against Mr. Vinnicombe in 2022 over comments made in his Armchair Detective Blue YouTube channel, which described itself as focusing on true crime and other mysteries. The channel had more than 79,000 followers in March 2023 before being closed down. Our Gervais de Wilde for Mr. Rzucek, that's the barrister, told the court in written submissions that Mr. Vinnicombe was promoting wholly unfounded conspiracy theories on the channel, which were highly defamatory. He said the channel falsely implicated Mr. Rzucek and his family in the deaths of his sister and children. And he did. And targets Mr. Rzucek through naming and tagging him. He said the fact that the defendant holds his particular opinion does not prevent the manner and substance of the publication from harassing the claimant and causing him huge distress. Mr. Vinnicombe from Devon represented himself at the hearing and admitted that he had not adhered to the court rules. But he had no money to fight the legal claim, and that he would not be able to pay any damages to Mr. Rzucek. And my little comment there is because he was so irresponsible, he had all the money and he gambled it away. Anyway.
Yes.
I keep losing my. He also claimed his publications were not a conspiracy. It's a fact, said Mr. Rzucek, was a chap in America that just wants to get cash from me, and that he had been made a target for the claimant for the last 6 years. He said, if they beat me, they're not going to get a penny either. I don't have any money. This is a shambles. I would have given up years ago, but I wanted to have a chance to have my say, but I can't have a say. Judge Allegra said that the amount of Mr. Vinnicombe would be ordered to pay Mr. Rzucek would be decided at a further hearing to be held at a later date. Judge Allegra said that the amount... Oh, okay, that was just a duplication. So, hang on. Let me just take that off.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yes. What would you like to say?
Okay. I was just going to say that the court graciously gave Alan 4 tries. Now, he kept like writing his own defense and submitting it to the court. And the court kept saying, no, you have to, like, it has to be under the, you know, structure of our laws. You have to reply to this and to that and this charge, and it has to be, you know, replied appropriately. So I don't know who's helping him put together these, you know, replies. He had 3 chances to reply on his own. He did not take on a lawyer, and the judge graciously gave him 1 more chance. And he said, yes, this time I will get a lawyer and I will reply, because he's just wasting the court's time, right?
Absolutely. Irresponsible.
And he did not reply. Like, he's that kind of guy. The kind of guy, like he told me, if I see something important in the mail, I throw it out. Like, can you imagine seeing your tax forms in the mail or something important, your property taxes or something, and just throwing it out, you know? And so he really made no effort. And I believe that he thought he would lose. And that is why he didn't hire a lawyer, because he thought, I'm going to lose anyway. But you know what? He could have had a defense, actually. It could have been, I don't know that he'd get away with it, but it could have been not as bad had he presented, you know, a legal defense. You know, he could have defended himself under, like, any which way, right?
I mean, even in the OJ case, I mean, he had no chance, but I mean, there was a lawyer that managed
Absolutely.
it. Johnny Cochran got there, even though
find a defense for you. That's their job.
Yeah,
you know, and he was just too lazy to do that, because he's just a really lazy kind of guy. That's how I see it. And maybe he thought he would lose, but it wouldn't have been as bad, you know, if he had fought.
He was out of his depth. Big time.
He's out of his depth, but he should have had an attorney. Like, it makes no sense. And is there no pro bono in the UK? Because there mustn't be, because otherwise he would take it. Does anyone in the UK know? Lizzie, you must know.
I must know. Why would I know?
You sound like you're from the UK.
I've never been to court.
I know, but you're from the UK.
Oh yeah, I see. Because Shirley and that's not. Yeah, no, I don't. Is there anybody in chat who knows?
All I can think is it doesn't exist pro bono, or he would have taken advantage of it, or was he even that lazy that he didn't even look into it? I'm looking in chat too. I want to know.
Hang on. With Tony's case. That was in the UK. Tony Bennett, when he was taken contempt of court, he was a solicitor, and but he would have he couldn't afford another solicitor, so he did have to represent himself. But I think he earned too much to be able to.
Yes, that makes complete sense, because okay.
So it might be that AD was making too much that he couldn't get one, couldn't he?
Right, he couldn't qualify.
Yeah,
And
could be
he
that. I've
didn't,
never really
like
thought
I
about
said,
that. Yeah.
it's a bit strange for someone making that amount of money
Oh,
that if you're just putting through a $50 charge on Amazon, you have to try a few different credit cards. Just that tells me that, he's maxed up on all his credit cards and God knows how much he has.
Yeah.
And
but doesn't it tell you that he shouldn't be getting that $50 thing if he couldn't afford it? I mean, if you have to go through a few credit cards to get something for $50, then maybe you should just go without the thing that costs $50.
Right. But it's just interesting to hear someone like, okay, I'm gonna buy that, and they've got to go, oh, declined. So it was live when he was doing it, and so of course that was something else very unappealing to me.
Things go deeper with that man. He's obviously got a really bad gambling thing. Remember, that's where his basis is, the gambling, where he needs the money.
That's where it all goes. 100%.
All starts the gambling, and I reckon he's in some serious shit with money. He got very greedy, he had a lot of money, and he went mad with it, and now it's fed his habit, and he's got nothing now.
Well, I've got something here. Just to remind you, Joe, I don't know whether you were here at this time. I saw it. Here we go. Is just for 4 months. In 4 months, he went 4 trips abroad in 4 months. This was in, hang on, there's a second part. So
Greece.
Up to 17th of November, 2022, that he was in, he went, you can see here he went abroad, but these were the places he went. He went to London, he went to Blackpool, he went to London again, and this was just within a month. And then he went to another London one, and then he went to Malta.
Malta for sure is gambling, as I know.
Oh no! These were all his winnings. I got it because he got winnings.
Yeah.
But he went to others, but these were the proven ones with his winnings. And then he was in.
Look, the house always wins, right? And he's a consummate gambler. He's an addicted gambler, and that's where all of his money has gone.
Absolutely.
He's made so much, and he's thought. And I used to say to him, just put 1,000 away a month. Put something away a month. Don't piss it all away, kind of thing. But there's no speaking to someone like that. Like, he lives in the cheapest flats. I don't know if they're council housing. I believe so. But his quality of life is not great because his passion for gambling is, I think, his number one drive. And he has zero savings.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. In November, he went to, up until the 17th of November, he went to 2 places, Blackpool and London. October, he went to London, another one in London, Malta, another one in London in September the 16th, and then Coventry, and August, Coventry. In 4 months, he went 4 trips abroad.
How are you seeing that, Lizzie? That's amazing. How do you see that?
This is all his winnings. This is listed with his winnings.
Oh, you're looking at poker tournaments.
Poker tournaments, yeah. In Barcelona, he went. And in August and July, he went to Nottingham, and then he went to Bratislava, and the 5th of 11th of July, and on the 25th of June he was in Malta.
So I mean, as I say, that's where his money went, and it's a shame. I mean, a shame.
Well, the thing is, what
if you put half of it away or some of it away? I mean.
But then he also did it and probably still does it online. I mean, he's known for that, where we've caught him, talking to some of his guests.
Yes. Actually, I'm surprised with all these poker appearances. Remember, like, I mean, this is a long time ago when I was around, but the trolls used to put up poker, like him live playing poker tournaments. Like they would follow him and he was live at a poker tournament and they were able to stream him live because you can stream the poker tournament live.
Oh yeah, we've got that. I've got a few of those.
Yes, those used to, like, I was like, wow, that's incredible. They're really finding them. And at that time I was like, of course not. I was not into things, but I was amazed at like how much work people put into finding him. And
oh yes, and this is the thing, you know, for me, I used to work on the Maddie case, and you know, I'm retired, so I have a passion for the truth. So if somebody is going to throw me something which I don't believe, then I will go out of my way to find the truth. That's all I want. I don't care to be right. I need the truth. So when he's telling everybody, oh, I was off sick or something, and then we find him actually sitting there at a poker tournament in London. And, you know,
we don't
quite right.
About YouTube making money. We just don't like the fact that he lied, and his subs were being told that he needed money to feed the dog. His rent was low. He had no electricity. That it was too cold, and they would feed him loads of money, and he'd spend it. So we were trying to protect the subs, but the subs were attacking us, thinking that we were lying about Alan. It was just a crazy time.
Yeah, yeah. It's sad because I think most of us honestly do not care if he drinks. That was the other thing. I don't drink, he says. But
honestly, to interrupt, I do not think he's a big drinker. Honestly, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, yeah. He was at one time. At one time, when he first started out. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there might have been a few times, and I think he was pretty honest about it, and he was like, "Oh well, I'm having cocktails tonight," or something like this. But like, he's honestly not a big drinker. That's not his vice. It's occasional.
Yeah, I did not see him as. I see a lot of people claim that he's, you know, drunk doing this.
No,
I didn't
and when
see
he
him
speaks,
as.
I mean, maybe like exactly his words are sort of slurred sometimes because that's just sort of how he speaks.
Yeah, but I definitely saw him drunk a few times.
Oh, I'm sure. Me too. A few times, absolutely. Yeah. But I'm just saying, you know, it wasn't a drunken.
Yeah, it wasn't. No, I could see
every night. No.
Yeah, I could see that. But I mean, just don't lie about it. I mean, who cares if you have a drink?
Just admit it and be honest.
Yeah.
Lying about the small things, that's when we think then he's lying about the big things. Just don't lie about anything. Be honest. He's not. It's not who he is.
Well, seriously.
Well, I wonder what's going to happen now if he's forced. I mean, we don't know. I'm just surmising because he hasn't talked about the case. And Shirley, who disappeared from us, I don't know. Is Shirley coming back?
Goodbye. She said she had to go, so she said goodbye in chat.
Oh, okay.
Was that Shirley? Is that Shirley AD's mod for a long time, or was that a different Shirley?
No. Sheila was his mod, but no.
A different Shirley. Okay, because we were just talking about her.
Okay. No, Shirley would not. No, our Shirley would. I just love that.
So
bit
I don't know when the date is. I saw that the date was, I can't remember, but the date that he's going to be like charged. The date.
No, I don't think they have a date right now.
Right? He hasn't been charged yet.
No. Well, no, I don't know about being charged, but the hearing.
Anyway, it's coming up.
The hearing should be coming up. Probably
yes, his like exactly like the case is thrown out, and now he has to face what he's done, sort of thing.
And and that was the other thing to me. You know, from the start, as I've shown you, I only came across to this back in January of 2019 when Leslie, rest in peace, and a few others asked me to do what I could. And all I could say is, I'll do my best. I'll try. And that's when I showed you, I found the message that I told them. And that was what kept me going. I promised. And I tried to keep my promise. And so going through it for those years, it's... I forgot where I was going. Where was I going?
Like me. Forget.
But it was important to me to really get to the truth. And when I saw him, because initially I didn't know anything about the Watts murders. I had no idea about that. I was sent over because what he was doing was making money from Maddie. And what was really important to us in the Maddie community is that there were several volunteers who translated for over 4 years, lots, 40,000 pages of Portuguese. And they translated a good majority of them into English so that we could have the files to do the investigation, to do our discussions and everything. And they translated them voluntarily. And to me, it was an unwritten rule that we did not make money from, excuse me, discussing Maddie. Not only because it was little Maddie, but because how dare we use translations that were volunteered and we make money off it? No.
Yeah.
So this was why I was sent over to try and stop him. And thanks to Chicken Lady, I think it took a couple of years, but Chicken Lady managed to persuade him to not...
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah. To
not monetize the Maddie stuff.
To not make money while he was doing the Maddie videos. But then he got annoyed with me. I think that was around the time I'd figured out this. Pardon? What did you say?
Wait a second.
I just want to ask, Chicken Lady came on. Can you hear me? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not used to this again. It's been a while. Chicken Lady came on way after the Maddie videos. Did AD go back to doing Maddie videos?
It was a constant every now and again. He used to do them a lot, but then once he was with the Watts case, he then...
Yeah, I know that's how he started, for example, but as long as I was there, I never heard a Maddie video again.
Oh, really?
And I think that was too hot of a topic, right?
No, there were lots of Maddie videos. Yes. And so one day I'd been chatting with Chicken Lady.
No, he went on to do Maddie. Okay.
And she spoke to him, and
Is
he
Chicken
agreed.
Lady still with him?
No, she left around that time.
You got poorly to get cancer.
Pardon?
I thought she got cancer and she got sick.
Oh
no. Oh yeah, no. She was sick, but no, this was not the reason.
No, I just wondered.
I'd spoken to Chicken Lady a little. I really liked her, and so she persuaded him not to make money. So he made this big deal. Yes, okay, I'm not going to do that. But then he got mad with me one day and he said, that's it. And then they put all the links up and everything. But what really got me was initially he told them to not put links up when, for Patreon and that when he was doing Maddie. But then when he got mad with me, he told them to get back to doing it. They did it once. And then after that, they didn't do it again. He probably got mad with them, but yeah, they chose not to because they realized that I wasn't doing it because I was jealous or saying it because I was jealous. It was because of the reality of the fact of using all these files that were volunteered, translated. how dare we make money when they spent all that time translating them? But anyway, that was why I was sent over. And then, of course, you know, from there, it translated into learning about the Watts case. And that's when I started recording everything from that date, and still have it to this day. Got terabytes, and I've got three external drives, external
Well, that's an incredible amount of effort, Lizzie. That's a lot of effort.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
good on you.
It was like every, and he was saying, yeah, she'd wait, and then it would be ding ding, and somebody would tell her, and well, you know, I just followed. I clicked on it, and I recorded, and I had like NASA. I had like 3 or 4 computers around me, but I was
dear,
required.
A full-time job.
Yeah, and it was no big deal, but it was hard going, and it used to be really hard because initially there weren't many other people doing videos. So after each live, I'd go through and take some clips out. So it was a real relief when it got to the point where others were doing those clips, and I could just record and put it aside, never watch it again, you know, never wanted to see it again. But I had it in case it was needed. And I mean, obviously everybody kept coming to me for the videos, even you, Val.
Yeah. Even I came to you. Yeah, would you be able to put the link to my video in the chat or something so that everyone can go over and have a look?
Yeah, I'd quite like to watch that video from
oh yes, we would. I was just going to do it. Can I just play a little bit of it?
Yeah,
can I just
please play a little? Yes,
I did put a lot of work into that, and
absolutely.
I need an ego boost. I just want people to see it.
No, I need to watch it, Val.
Yes, and I was distracted, as I very often do get distracted. I'm sorry about that. So Shirley was helping me, and now she's gone. She's not going to help me. So hopefully, just have patience.
No worries, hon.
I will get there.
Yeah, if everybody go and watch that.
Yeah. Also, if I don't know if anybody could put the.
I will, Val.
I could have probably done it myself, to be honest.
Yes, you probably.
Hang on, there's something happening in chat.
Oh dear.
Is it why get a dog? No, it's the saying. I don't know what it is.
What's that?
Why was he? Oh no, I was trying to think of that saying about why get a dog when you can bite yourself or something. No.
Okay, share screen. I'm getting there. So.
Excuse me.
Okay,
destroy them. Room for surprise.
13th of August, 2018. Chris Watts took the lives of his wife Shanann, daughters Bella, Cece, and unborn son Nico. Because Chris Watts wanted a new life with his mistress. For the Rzucek family, here started hell on earth. Not only because their hearts were broken, but their grief paused because of greedy YouTube tragedy pimps that use and abuse victims online. For money and status, many witnessed the abuse of a grieving family for money by one particular channel. The Armchair Detective YouTube channel.
Armchair Detective. No hiding place.
This man was relentless in his search for status and money.
The reason I've called it that, because I'm a studier of metadata.
Now, we know that the Armchair Detective channel is no more.
We've been terminated.
Alan Vinnicombe did finally get terminated off YouTube in September 2023 for violating the terms of service, which was a very good day for the Rzuceks and for many others harassed by this narcissist. The fact that there were at least 3 petitions to remove the Armchair Detective off YouTube, one with over 900 comments disgusted with the abuse and scamming from Alan. He can't wipe his toxic behavior away. There is no hiding place for Alan's abuse of others. So, for those of you that don't know who the Armchair Detective is, let me fill you in. Alan Vinnicombe, AD as he liked to be called. This man was and still is a liar. He portrayed himself as a YouTube detective, a private investigator, a skilled data and CCTV expert, worked for the MI5.
I was an MI5 agent, special agent.
And studied with the FBI, learning body language. He lied. But what he is a fraud. a scammer and guilty of victimizing families for money, Alan tried to pull the wool over the eyes of the millions that watched him, but failed. Alan Vinnicombe has put pain on top of pain for families suffering from loss. He creates characters from real victims and uses them like puppets in his online detective fantasy stories. This tragedy pimp has built a business on death. In this video, there is evidence from those who witnessed and experienced Alan's abuse.
This guy's made his entire channel off the backs of the Rzuceks on a daily basis, and make insinuations and make judgments on your family, on your deceased, lost family. You hear this person who's on a live stream right now, what they're saying about your sister, about her kids, and this is on a constant, all the time, getting thrown at you every second, all the time, 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 all the time. How can you justify trash talking these people, spreading rumors about them, sharing pictures that shouldn't be shared? What does it take for you people to let this family live their lives in peace once and for all?
Here, creators talk about witnessing the torment.
It's nothing but conspiracy, gossip, and false rumors. Stop the conspiracy, stop the false rumors. But you haven't, you've just carried on and on. You're just making it worse and worse and worse.
Just because some never saw the abuse, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Gaslighting makes you feel powerless. You doubt yourself and question your reality. The Rzuceks deserve validation, and those that didn't see, perhaps now will.
Heinous shit, like saying that her family is involved in it for money, and all kinds of terrible things about Shanann. She drugged her children, and she was abusive. Why go after a hurting, grieving, suffering family like that? Where you're going out of your way to create things that didn't exist, that didn't happen, that weren't true.
No question in my mind, the Armchair detective exploited the Watts case. And yeah, I do think he also, the Armchair detective, made a lot of things up. What happened with the Armchair detective is he ended up also not liking the Rzuceks anymore, or liking Frankie Rzucek.
You know, I used to watch his channel. Then the more I watched him, the more crazy, just crazy he makes himself out to be. And I'm pretty convinced now that he really does have something wrong with him.
This man is saying, please leave us alone. Stop. It's not your job to go live and speak about them every day. It's stop making the conspiracy theory videos, the shadows and all this bullshit. Stop it.
Alan Vinnicombe is not a well-educated man, but he's got a very advanced criminal mind of a criminal con artist mind. He knows how to be a con artist. His con artist life didn't start on YouTube, that he was conning people before, and he was well practiced at conning people before.
That what Armchair does, that's not true crime. Okay, true crime is about facts. It's about truth. It's about justice, but it's not about conspiracies, lies, and exploitation.
And the family is trying to heal, but yet 3 years continuing on, he has done nothing but torment the ever-living crap out of this family.
So I took this case so personal that my heart, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. This poor family has been through so much.
No one should hurt and abuse people and get away with it. Many caring YouTube channels made videos in support of the Rzucek family. People witnessed the exploitation of the Watts case and injustice to the family and exposed his lies. There is no hiding place for Alan's covert abuse. Please be aware of Alan's theatrics, the melodramatics Alan displays, his lies that look like truths, his abuse that is portrayed as victimhood, his fake empathy manipulated, so you interpret it as seeking justice. Please read between the lines of what Alan does and doesn't say, and you will see the truth.
Thank you. Gives people a little snippet of what it's about.
Have I taken it off yet? I'm still trying to figure out.
Cool. Thank you.
Okay, it's gone. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful. I mean, everybody should. That's the main thing to look at. Read the judgments and watch Val's video. Just yeah, that was a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that, Val. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie.
It's everybody should watch that. And it brought so much to me to realize.
Jump off
that
now if it's okay.
Pardon? You're going to jump off.
I'm sorry. No, continue with what you were saying, Lizzie, before I jump. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say something.
About the video, I think it was something to do with There was something reminded you in the video.
No, please.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's gone. It's not that important.
No.
But it's
Take a
been
moment.
really nice of you to pop up, Joe. I really appreciate that. I
Yeah,
think
thank
everybody
you.
does. And to be so honest with, talking about the stuff. But also it's important that when somebody's down, you don't really need to bring them down even more. AD is responsible. Oh, I think one of the things that I really wanted to point out was that I don't think he's ever been made accountable. I think that in his life, he has managed to wheedle his way out of every single thing. And the first time he was made accountable was when he lost his YouTube channel. And that was when he first realized he'd been made accountable, because he just couldn't wheedle out of it. And the court case now, this has finally...
He's made accountable a few embarrassing times, like the restaurant inspector, right? He was made accountable and humiliated at that point. So, I mean, this has happened in his life before.
Yeah, but in his general day-to-day life and on it, on the videos and that, he would not ever be made accountable. He'd be in denial, whatever. But I think, thanks to Frankie, thanks to everybody who inputted, and there was a heck of a lot of people that have inputted to this to help Frankie. I think all of us, including those that are no longer with us, we did what we could because we wanted to get peace for the family. And I'm hoping, there'll never be peace, but I'm hoping that once this is over, that Frank, and Sandra,
you should all be so proud.
Yeah. And to know that you've had us all behind you all this way. And it's
he knows. Congratulations. And I'm so thrilled. I also couldn't sleep the first night. I was so excited. I just couldn't get to sleep.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's been a long slog. It's been a long hard. I mean, the thing is as well, why I'm probably going to not carrying for too long, but I will make something else, because I feel, on a selfish note, the shit that he put me through and what he did to me as well, and to other people, obviously. But I'm saying, on a selfish note, getting that stalker, psychopath coach on to chat as an interview to really torment me. What family man, father would do that? Get someone's abuser on their channel. That was, and threatening me that he was going to, all these police, the police are coming for you because this, and this. You threatened to kill me because I said that Liam Nilsson bloody joke thing, passing. I mean, the man just, so I'm not finished yet, guys. I do apologize. I'm not going to turn into a, but I just think I've still got a few things I want to do.
Yeah, and we do have to wait till the hearing to find out exactly what he has
to. That's another moment of celebration. I've been gone for a long time as well, because obviously the circus that I got involved. Yeah, and I couldn't deal with that because it was just pathetic. I thought, what the hell am I doing? This is not me. So, but I wanted to be around for this moment, and I am so chuffed.
Yeah.
And Alan, I have nothing to say at the moment because you disgust me. Sorry, guys, just had to say it.
Yeah, I think.
I think it's too bad for him, but he's getting what's coming to him after all.
I want to make sure that he does,
And
not
thanks to everybody.
But everybody is hurt. Snow Bunny, you name it. Anybody, all the mods that he's hurt. People, I know subscribers that have contacted me and said things. It's just no. I'm sorry. I've always been. I'm like you, Lizzie, passionate about the truth. Yeah. Passionate about, I started
passionate about the truth.
Yeah, and also abuse survivors and helping them. I had a channel before I started in this arena about helping abuse victims. That I'd had for 4 or 5 years. So it's not like I've just suddenly come into this. That's who I am.
And also,
you know,
yeah, and also we know that Chris and Robin, when they both left,
yeah, exactly.
they both needed therapy. I don't know if you knew that, did you, Joe? Are you still there, Joe?
Chris and Robin needed therapy. No, I did not know that. Well,
Yeah.
I might have known that about Robin, but I didn't know that about Chris.
Chris really seriously suffered.
Yeah,
and when she realized
guilt
what
and shame,
she'd done.
Because when you find out that you've been working with somebody who you thought was good against somebody who you thought was bad, when the truth comes out, it's so hard for your brain to deal with that. You've been making somebody suffer, and they've actually not been, you know, you shouldn't have been doing it, and it's hard
a shock.
to deal with.
It's a shock.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should bring it to a close. We've got to the 2 hours, and thank you, Frankie, for putting up.
Yes.
That ultimately,
well, thank you. Good night to everybody.
We benefit from
this is
as
a
well.
good thing.
Yeah, and we look forward. We'll do another one shortly, and once we know exactly what is going on. So keep in touch, Joe. And if any of the others want to come on, they're more than welcome.
Exactly.
Joe,
I appreciate you coming on. And you know where I am.
Well, he's got some sentencing to come out. There's going to be something, you know, from this.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I know that we'll be back again. But we're not the nasty people he pretends we are.
Good night to everybody.
And thank you so much. Thanks to Shirley, who disappeared. Thanks to Kerry and anybody in chat. And thank you, Val, for not only being here, but for that video.
Thank you.
And I will just lead you out with
hi to chat. Hi to Grumpy Granny. I see a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'll lead you out with how anxious and depressed he is and how he's going to make it.
If they think £25,000 would get me to court, they're in for another thing. I've got depression. I've got anxiety. I will drag this all through the land and make sure they spend £100,000 before I even get in a courthouse. Because I draw it out. I'll make you write 1,000 letters from your solicitors to my solicitor. At $1,000 a go.
Oh, I'm still here.
Yeah, me too. I just can't believe that. So anyway, okay, well, good night, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Val. And we'll see you soon.
Night all. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
Night.